This is a problem out of Chapter 6, Section 3, and this is a problem that has given us a confidence interval. And we are asked to work backwards from the interval to find what is the margin of error and what is p hat. So I made a sample problem here based on what we were given. So this is what we were given. This is the confidence interval, and this would be our lower limit and the upper limit. So we don't have any context for this problem. Let's just make something up. Let's say that this confidence interval represents the percent of students that have laces on their shoes. So we are trying to go out and figure out what percent of all Pellissippi students wear shoes with laces. So we go out and we get a sample of, I don't know how many students, and we ask them, do your shoes have laces? And so we get our answer, we get a p hat. We get the percent of those students that wear laces on their shoes. So it's somewhere in here. It's actually exactly in the middle of here. So our confidence interval is saying that we are, and it doesn't say if this is a 90% or 95% confidence interval, but let's go with 95%. This would be, we are 95% confident that the proportion of all Pellissippi students that have laces on their shoes is between 75.8% and 78.4%. So we're saying it's in this range. Here's the lowest it might be, and the highest it might be based on our sample and the margin of error. So we went out and we got a sample and we got a p hat. We got a percentage. Actually, I already figured that out. It was 77.1%. I'll explain how I got this. But so we went out, we asked a sample of Pellissippi students if they had laces on their shoes, and 77.1% did. So that's our p hat. So the way we built our confidence interval is we take we take our p hat, the 77.1, add a margin of error to get our upper limit. Then we take the 77.1, which is our p hat, our sample proportion, and we subtract e. So that's how we get our upper and our lower limit. So this is really just a matter of addition and subtraction to figure out what to do here. So this is how we have this is our confidence interval. It's p hat minus the margin of error, p hat plus the margin of error. So let's get p hat. P hat's precisely in the middle here. So how do we find the middle? That's just you add the upper plus the lower limit, divide it by 2, divide it in half. So that's adding your upper limit, 0.784, plus your lower limit, dividing that by 2. So that's where I got the 77.1%. So this is p hat. All right. The margin of error is a way we can find that is to take the upper limit minus the lower limit and divide that in half. And so if we do that, this is our upper minus the lower limit divided by 2. That's 0.013. So let's just go back and check that, make sure everything works out. Make sure we got the right answer. So let's try p hat. We got 0.771 for a p hat. And if we add on the margin of error of 0.013, that should give me my upper limit right here. This would be my upper limit. So if we check that in the calculator, that does give us our upper limit of 0.784. And let's check the lower limit. So let's make sure we got our p hat and our e correct. So if this would be our lower limit here is p hat minus e. So p hat, we got 0.771 minus e. This is our margin of error right here. So 0.771 minus e, 0.013. And if we calculate that, we do get the lower limit of 0.758. So there's our lower limit and our upper limit, which is what we were given to begin with. So this is all we do for this problem. E is 0.013 and p hat is 0.771.